Hi, welcome to the Empowered Woman Podcast. This is a place for you to learn from inspiring women how to empower yourself through self-love. I'm so glad that you're here. My name is martaspirk, and I'm your host, triplet mom, woman empowerment coach, and all things motivation extraordinaire.
On this episode, I talk about how quarantine has opened up so many things for me. It's helped me focus more on the Empowered Woman School, gain momentum, and really understand who my audience is. Women that want to be heard, seen, and appreciated, starting with themselves. I also talk about a program I signed up for recently to help me grow the school, and that I started writing my very first book. Let's get right to it. Here we are, almost finishing 8 weeks into quarantine, and at the same time that it's been super hard, you got to look for the positives, right? So it's been definitely interesting to be around the kids a lot more than I had been for the entire year, and also it's been very nice to dedicate more of my time to the Empowered Woman School. This is something that I had wanted to do, but I feel like even though I got a little sidetracked, it was exactly what I needed with the in-person workshops. Building that community through the workshops, through the 3 workshops that I was able to do before lockdown, was really helpful to me to see that there is a need for what I'm doing, that women are really craving this connection, but also to create a little bit of a community before I went all in with the school, which is what I did this past month in April. Many of the ladies that had been attending the workshops signed up for the Empowered Woman School, and I am so excited for what's to come in the future. And this is what I wanted to dedicate this episode to talk about, how the last almost 4 years with my coaching sometimes seemed to me like a little bit of a failure because of this many things that I've tried, and how sometimes I feel a little bit scattered-brained, like I can't stick with one thing, because I've tried group programs, I've tried one-on-one, and because of the nature of the work that I do, and because it's important anyways, I have been going back and finding the gratitude and finding the blessings with the things that I have done, even if I didn't stick with them or if they didn't last very long. I feel like all of them were stepping stones into me finding the path that I am in right now. And so that's why, even though I was like, oh my gosh, I should have been focusing more on in the school this entire time instead of doing the events, I then see that the events were a blessing, and I am looking forward to being able to do them again. But now we're at a different time, and I have to adjust to what's happening in the world. And I'm very happy that I am, because the Empowered Woman School is really, really thriving. I am so excited about the excitement that the ladies that have joined have brought with them, because this is exactly what I wanted, to build a community, to build a movement. This has been my vision from day one with starting, the Mom Does It All podcast. It's a community of women that support each other. Starting with me providing that support, but not being the God or the end all for all things, but just being the facilitator for women coming together to support each other. And I also wanted to say that this quarantine has also allowed me to see that for a long time, I have been creating a lot of my content justifying what I was doing, because I didn't feel 100% confident in what I was doing. Now I see that. And it's so interesting how it takes time for you to be separated from the situation, to look back and be like, oh, that's why I did what I did. And to even be able to become aware and see what you did. And now I see that because of the lack of support in my family, not all of it, but some of my family and even strangers, I spent a lot of time justifying what I was doing, explaining why I was taking on something else outside of motherhood and outside of my actual career with languages, that it looked like it was not related to it at all, and that it looked like I was just trying to run away from my actual life by building something outside of it. And through quarantine, I actually experienced some stressful situations, especially with my in-law family. I ended up having to block them on Facebook. But this decision was because I have been learning as I am becoming more of who I really am through coaching, through personal development, through everything that I've been doing. I've been learning to set boundaries. That has been something that has not come easily to me because of a people-pleasing nature that I've had, because of this need for external validation and for people validating me. And this is a lot of what I talk about, because everything that I have been teaching really is about my journey and what I have been learning myself. And throughout the years, ever since being a little girl, and we all do this, right? But I have noticed that in my life, this has been stronger than for some other people. Hence why I started going deeper into understanding personality types, because it really drives your way of being and your motives for everything that you do. And a lot of it for me has been getting that approval from other people, and especially from close ones. And when I don't get that approval from close ones, I feel like I'm failing. I start taking it really, really personally. And this is what happened with recently through quarantine, realizing that pretty much the entirety of my husband's family was not supportive of what I was doing. And eventually I had to create boundaries to say, this is my work. This is my work. This is part of my job, even if it's not related to languages. And now I actually see that it is, because I am teaching myself the language of self-love and self-acceptance, and teaching women the language of self-love and self-acceptance. I don't need, now I see that instead of spending so much time having to create materials to say, I'm doing this because I need it, I'm doing this because other women benefit from it. Now that I don't have those people being able to see my content, and it's more psychological in the sense of, I know that they are not seeing it, and even if they are, it's just, it created this freedom for me to just speak directly to the women that understand what I'm saying, that get it. So talking to the people who get it, which in other words is my audience, right? My true target audience, the women that want to be heard, want to be seen, want to be appreciated. And it really starts with us. This is what I noticed, is that this entire time with everything that I was doing, I was still continuing on with my lifelong need of being heard and being supported. And when I didn't feel that from everyone around me, which I have learned that not everybody's going to like you and resonate with you, and that's okay, because we're all different, that now I get to talk to the people that are really interested, and those that are not interested, they can take they can step aside essentially, because I'm going to be doing what I'm doing. There are people out there that need this. And it really, I officially started empowering women in November 2016. And I didn't know at that time, but I was doing that for me. I needed that. I needed to be heard, to feel seen, to have a support system. And I realized that I was beginning to create my support system within myself. I was learning to hear myself, to see myself, to appreciate myself. And this is what I have done in the last 3 years, is become my own support system, is starting to appreciate myself. And by teaching women this, they are learning how to do that for themselves, and they're also providing the support for other women too. So it's so beautiful how it really starts individually, but then as you start healing from the inside out, because you're loving yourself more, you start loving other people more, and you start supporting people more. And this is what I wanted to share with you today, is how building my school has everything to do with everything that I've been working up towards. And a decision that I made in the month of April too was to join a program called Tribe. It's by this amazing Canadian business owner called Stu McLaren. You may have heard of him. I had heard of him last year when I was just starting the Empowered Woman School for Brazilians. And I didn't really want to join his program because I was just getting started. But now, almost a year later, and because of everything happening in quarantine, I'm ready. I'm ready to grow my membership site, my tribe, and really create this movement for women to understand the depths of their hearts by sharing it first with themselves, right? Opening themselves up to themselves, and then sharing it with other women, and how powerful that is. And it's been amazing to onboard the new students that I got by doing that drive that I did, that I explained in the last solo episodes, to see their excitement and to see, I'm ready to create bonds with other ladies and to show support. And our first class last week, our first class of the month with all new students, was amazing. And everyone was talking. There were tears. I even got emotional because we were craving this. And this is my people, And if you are my people, if you are a woman that's looking for this community, that is looking for creating this support system, first yourself, for yourself, and then with other women as well, then you really belong with us. And I'm excited to be a part of this program called Tribe, because this is really my vision, is to create a tribe of women who learn to hear, see, and appreciate themselves, and then learn to hear, see, and appreciate other women in their lives and the other people in their lives. But it really starts with us learning to do that for ourselves. Another exciting thing too is that as I'm going through this process and more in depth with creating this space for women and for myself, because it goes together. It's me growing and then helping these women grow. And then because they're growing and I see what I'm doing is helping them, I grow a little more, and it just, goes around and around and around. I've decided to start writing my book, my very first book. This is something that I've been hesitant to do because lots of my mentors have said not to waste time with that, because eventually only your friends and family are going to buy your book. It's just going to be on the shelf. You're going to spend a lot of time and a lot of money, and it's not necessarily going to help you with your business. And back then, I don't really feel like it would have been good for me to do it anyways, because I was still growing, and we're constantly growing. But because I had the mindset of, I'm going to use this book to create more interest for my business and more visibility. But now I see, especially with quarantine, it's done amazing things for me personally and for my business too. I see that the process of writing a book is really going to be healing for me. It's really going to help me create a more solid framework for my business and a more solid support for myself as I go through my story in detail, not just in my head, but actually having to make sense out of it to be able to put it in words, And so I'm excited that I started writing it. I want to start sharing it with you guys, some excerpts here and there. But basically, my focus for this book, with it being kind of like a memoir, an autobiography, but also a resource on prompts for reflection and for personal development, for you to apply the lessons that I have gone through in my life to your life, and digging up that information and creating that healing for yourself too. So I really want to touch on the depths of a woman's heart and say how we're so multifaceted, and there are so many different women inside of us, right? So many different parts of who we are. And oftentimes we tend to label and we tend to categorize and we tend to compartmentalize ourselves. And I don't want to do that anymore. I want to embrace all of me. And recently I got some emails, lots of feedback about one of my episodes that I released not too long ago. It was actually right after my last workshop. I said, embracing all of me, or all of me loves all of me. I forget what it was, but I was talking about how for so long, which is going back to what I opened this episode with, is I was looking for that approval. I was looking for people to embrace all of me, when in reality, I needed to embrace all of me. And then when I do that, everybody gets all of me, and it's amazing. But I need to be able to do that myself. I need to start embracing all of me first. And this is really what my book is going to be all about, is going to be talking about the different facets of Marta and how a woman's heart is full of stories, full of lessons, full of hurt, but also full of lessons and a lot of gratitude. And I want to share all of this and then create prompts and exercises for women to reflect on their lessons and open their own hearts up to themselves, to feel what they feel, to see themselves in a different light and through love, and understand that true healing really starts with us. We have to take that one step. And this actually reminds me of a post I did on Facebook not too long ago. I posted, the old saying, God helps those who help themselves. And I asked, do you agree with this? What does it mean? And lots of people said, yes, you have to take action. And then you will see the fruits of it. And then lots of Christians started posting and commenting and quoting verses and saying, this is non-scriptural. You just have to surrender to God, and then you will get, whatever you need. You have to give up your desires, give up your whole self to the Lord. And it's interesting to me to see all of that, because I used to be hardcore Christian growing up, and I am a Christian now, but my vision has changed. I have opened myself up to see things in a different way. And I've said this several times already, taking the pressure off of God from doing all the things and understanding that He's already done it all. And now it's really up to us. And this is what the empowered woman has, this is what the empowered woman is for me, my business. And the meaning of being an empowered woman is that you take responsibility for your happiness, that you're not just expecting something to fall off on you, or you're not expecting for the next compliment to survive. You are really providing that nurturing to yourself. And I truly believe in that saying, even if it's non-scriptural. God helps those who help themselves, because Jesus has already done everything. We already have everything that we need. We just need to look inside and find it. So this is the message of my book. This is the message of the school. And I'm so excited for all that's happening. I actually enrolled in the program Tribe last week. We start officially this week, today. And I'm excited to see how I can grow my school, how I can, provide meaningful content and really create a movement of women that love themselves and support each other. That's really my goal. And I'm so happy that you're here and that you've stuck around through the years, almost 2 years of a podcast now, into seeing this message. I'm so happy for everyone that's connected with me personally. I've had people, ever since I said, please connect with me, I've had a couple people email me or find me on social media and say, I love it that you said, please connect with me. I love that you put out that invitation. And this is one of the things that I've learned in this business. You have not because you ask not, right? And so I'm asking you to connect with me. I'm asking you to send me your feedback. If this is something as a woman that you've been craving, to be seen, to be heard, to feel appreciated, and that you're now learning that it needs to start with you, that you need to start seeing and appreciating and hearing your own self before people do that for you. And even in order for people to be able to do that, it has to start with you. I would love for you to connect with me. I would love for you to find out more about the Empowered Women School and join us. Another interesting thing is that I had somebody that I don't know, because most of the women that joined the school are women that I have known personally that live here in Colorado, that have gone to my workshops, or people that I've known online for a while that decided to join, that live in other states, even some in Canada. And there was this one lady that saw an ad on Instagram, started following on all platforms, joined the group on Facebook, and then signed up for the school too. And she's in Texas, and she was just sharing her story and saying, this is my time. Now I need to take care of myself. Now I really need to, be my own support system. The exact message that I'm putting out there. So there are women out there that need this, and I will not stop. Even if people don't agree with me, if people, in my own family don't see the value in what I'm doing, I know that there are people out there that need this. This is helping me as a person, so I will carry on, and I am so glad for your support up until this day. Thanks so much for tuning in today. I am truly grateful for your support. And are you a woman who's been craving to be seen, to be heard, to be appreciated? Then you belong in the Empowered Women School. I would love to connect with you and chat with you. Shoot me an email, connect with me on social media, or just go to my website, martaspirk.com, to find out more information about the Empowered Women School and everything that I do. Until next time, bye.